house, I think it's nice to use up the leftovers by doing, color blocks.
Nice.
And so this was just all the leftover paint. The only paint we bought was one little tester pot of the turquoise or the teal. You don't have to have everything the same, right? So you can have the lower cabinets one thing and the upper cabinets another thing. And what I think about with clients is when they say, oh, I don't really want a dark kitchen cabinetry because I don't want the room to feel dark. Kitchens can either be what I would call morning kitchens or evening kitchens. Like there are kitchens that you want to look more like a dining room, a nightclub, a place that you hang out in. Or the morning kitchen is more whites, sunshine, coffee. I want to feel energized when so what part of the day is most important? But if you have a client that has a dark kitchen or wants a dark kitchen but doesn't want to feel like they're in a cupboard, then what do you do for the backsplash? And you don't have to, sometimes you can have a dark space and you just have light where you're working and looking, and it can feel perfectly light and sparkly and not gloomy. But if you put white in with I had actually a client who had walnut, and she wanted a white counter, even whiter than this, and a white backsplash, and she was adamant, that's what I'm going to have. Only picture, it was a Caesar stone, stark white. So, you have to work gently and just sort of say, well, might you just tone the white down a little, right? There's a big gamut between light and dark, and it's in the realm of what I would call soft stripes.
When you're working with like a completely blank canvas, the only thing that's suggesting any color there is the floor, then
right.
what's going through your mind is like there's no place to take any inspiration from.
Well, sometimes I would then take the floor color. Like in nature, this was the wall. That's a very bright green. Like if a Martian came down from Mars and looked at that green, they'd say, who picked that color for the grass? But anyway, it all seems right because of the billions of years we've learned to get used to it. So because some of this relates to what we did yesterday. Neutrality and white is the color of death in nature. Death and dying, actually. And we do have the ceiling as our fifth wall. And remember that wallpaper I showed you yesterday? Well, here the guy's putting it up, but I didn't find a shot of it done. But you'll notice the ceiling. Like you don't just have to do a color block as a block, and you don't just have to do it on the wall. So this is a white dining room in Brooklyn, and it's a very conservative sort of setting. So I will try and find it. And I actually think that when you put a dirty, kind of muddy color with electric colors, it just makes it a little more grown up. Just like to me, this is all happiness. When I come here, it's kind of more, it's just sort of doing something a little more complex, which makes it interesting. Because you don't look and go, I get it. It's kind of, what is it that's making me